check. So we're going to Pearl. Lately, my dad squints. I don't have any problems. Mom says that's the best time to go to Pearl. I like August. Lots of frogs around.
August is Family Eye Care Month at Pearl. Come in and make a purchase and get your free Eye Care Club card. Good for future savings.
You know, most sales have one thing in common. What you want never seems to be on sale. That's not good. And it's certainly not true at best. Right now, they're having a sale on all kinds of things. You want small appliances, electronics? Save at best. Sporting goods? Don't even ask. Fine jewelry? Now you're catching on. They're having a better sale because their prices are lower to begin with. It's logical. This is the look of a smart shopper.
Such a sensation in his blue jeans. Temptation, if you know what I mean. Making me crazy till I'm just about gone. Is it what he's got going or what he's got on? The lovely sensation.
Get a Godfather's hot slice and soft drink with every Lee jean at United. Because when the jeans are on you, the lunch is on us at the United stores.
You're watching KARE, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Now, from the action center of the Twin Cities, News 11 with Paul Majors, Kirsten Lindquist, Jeff Passolt on sports, and meteorologist Paul Douglas.
Good afternoon. Topping News 11 at 5, a plea for help from a little girl in need of a transplant.
8-year-old Maria Diaz needs a new kidney, and her family doesn't have enough money to pay for the operation.
It will be the 4th kidney transplant for the little girl from Venezuela, and Andrea Shane tells us it's a tough waiting game in a Minneapolis hotel room.
Maria Diaz was a perfectly healthy child until she turned 3. Then one morning she woke up very swollen. That was the first sign of a rare kidney disease that has haunted her for 5 years. This wide-eyed 8-year-old has since faced 20 operations and 3 kidney transplants. And now, in this hotel room, she waits for her 4th.
Close your eyes, man.
By looking at her, the only sign of her pain can be seen by her size. Her friends, who are also 8, are twice as big. Maria doesn't talk about her pain much, except for in her prayers.
I have a little thing that I put on, and I pray that prayer, and then I pray that I get well and all that stuff.
The prayers give Maria hope, but it's these pills that get her through each day. She has to take 10 of them, and every time she swallows one, she says she hopes it grows her a new kidney. Maria's mother gives her dialysis 4 times a day, and she worries about her daughter's health and the bills.
Are you feeling better now?
They've already paid $250,000, and they still owe $150,000. They must pay that before Maria can have her new kidney. And through it all, they maintain a sense of humor.
Do you like transplants, Maria?
No way, Jose.
But the dialysis is a constant reminder of just how serious all of this is. For Maria's life depends on a new kidney. Andrea Shane, News 11.
If you'd like to donate to the fund for Maria's transplant, you can send money to a trust that's been set up in her name at the Midway National Bank. The address is 1578 University Avenue, St. Paul, 55104.
Fired Minnesota Human Rights Commissioner Linda Johnson says she is not a thief and blames politics for her removal by Governor Perpich. Meeting with reporters today, Johnson and her deputy, Walter Barwick, who was also fired, declined to criticize Perpich, but blasted his primary opponent, George Latimer. Latimer has attacked Perpich for his handling of the Human Rights Department.
I question the integrity of such a candidate and hope that the voters will consider that negative quality in the primary election to come.
Johnson denies any misuse of state expense money and says she will consider legal action to restore her credibility.
In the nation's capital today, the controversial nomination of William Rehnquist to be Chief Justice of the Supreme Court moved one step closer to reality.
The Senate Judiciary Committee approved the nomination. Reporter Tracy Lyons has details from our Washington bureau. And Tracy, just how close was this vote?
John, the vote was 13-5, but the vote today was mainly a symbolic one because the decision, as you know, was made weeks ago. While it was expected Rehnquist would be confirmed, it was also expected to be a very hotly contested vote. So when the gavel fell in the Judiciary Committee today, both sides were squared off for battle.
In the consideration of Mr. Justice Rehnquist as Chief Justice, the Republicans were full of praise and promotions. But while they were commending his record, the Democrats were compiling a file of their own. On civil rights, there were allegations of racism, minority voter harassment, former Rehnquist homes that could not be sold to blacks or Jews. There were legal opinions written in the 1970s that Democrats charged showed the nominee to be biased in later Supreme Court decisions. And the health question, Rehnquist's dependency on a sleep-inducing drug he took while on the Supreme Court. When the Judiciary Committee met for the decision today, all of it came up again.
For these reasons, I intend to vote against Mr. Rehnquist's confirmation as Chief Justice, and I hope the Senate will do the same.
I believe Justice Rehnquist is qualified without question.
We have to do everything we can to confirm him as Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court, and I have confidence that he will be confirmed.
So, Mr. Chairman, Justice Rehnquist will be confirmed, and I will vote only as one senator, but he will not be confirmed with my vote.
Mr. Biden?
No.
Mr. Kennedy?
No.
Mr. Byrd?
Yes, by proxy.
Mr. Metzenbaum?
No.
Mr. DeConcini?
Aye.
Mr. Leahy?
No.
Mr. Chairman, there are 13 yeas and 5 nays.
So the nomination is confirmed.
Now from here, the Rehnquist and Scalia nominations move to the Senate floor for a confirmation vote on September 8th, but it's fully expected that William Rehnquist will be confirmed as the 16th Chief Justice of this nation's highest court. Kirsten and John?
All right, thank you. Tracy Lyons reporting from Washington. Well, Justice Rehnquist has been on the high court for 15 years. Scalia was a college professor when Reagan named him to the U.S. Court of Appeals 4 years ago.
There seems to be no end to the violence in Lebanon. Another car bombing there today in the Christian sector of Beirut. The blast caused a fire that gutted a 5-story building, demolished 45 houses, and set dozens of cars ablaze. At least 15 people were killed, 100 others injured. The bombing comes in the midst of continuing fighting between rival Christian forces. Firefighters in 6 western states do not expect any help from the weather in the near future. Forest fires are burning in 6 western states, and a state of emergency has been declared in Idaho. There are more than 13,000 firefighters from around the nation battling those blazes. Minnesota and Wisconsin firefighters are among that bunch. News 11 has a crew out west, and we'll be bringing you more on that situation soon.
The Southeast is enjoying the 4th consecutive day of rain. Farmers walking through their fields can now see footprints, and fog is forming over the fields in the early morning hours. Unfortunately for the crops, though, it is too little rain too late. Tons of bales of hay have rolled into the Southeast to help the drought-stricken farmers. The latest effort is coming from Chaska, and News 11's Les Heen introduces us to these unusual volunteers.
Well, this is an easy one, fellas. Now, how many of you guys want to be farmers?
They may not want to be farmers, but they certainly want to help out farmers. 12 Boy Scouts from Chaska started loading 3 train cars with drought relief hay this morning. They found out hay loading is hard work.
We need water.
Even if their bale tossing technique needed a little work. They kept lifting and loading, no matter how hot and dusty it got. One reason that these scouts worked up such a sweat is that they moved along at a fast pace, loading about 400 bales an hour. What kept them working at that pace was encouragement from a scoutmaster.
Geez, all we need now is John Denver out here singing to us.
And a desire to help out folks they've never seen in Salisbury, North Carolina.
So, really pretty good at helping people who don't have that hay to use and stuff.
The feeling that they've done something worthwhile should help these scouts sleep well tonight. And if that doesn't do it, well, 3,000 bales worth of hard work should. Les Heen, News 11, Scott County.
Hot, sticky work. The hay is expected to arrive in Salisbury, North Carolina sometime next week.
Paul Douglas is combining work with a little pleasure this afternoon. He's out back where there's some sort of a party going on.
Barbecue going on,
That's right. Boy, last year Channel 11 brought you stereo television. Maybe this year our engineers will go hard at work on smell-o-vision. I wish you could smell this out here in the backyard. We have Polish sausages and hamburgers, and of course this is the 4th annual Jerry Lewis, MD Appreciation Party, which we're having in the backyard. This is a party for all the staff, all the folks here at Channel 11 who work so hard with folks at MD putting on the Jerry Lewis Telethon every year. And it is going to be held this year only on Channel 11. And of course, it's over Labor Day. It's coming up real soon, and we hope you can join us this Labor Day weekend. Everybody out here enjoying what should be a real nice barbecue if the weather holds up. Here's today's weather trivia quiz, and it deals with hurricanes. Specifically, why are hurricanes most likely to form in the Atlantic and the Gulf during August and September? Strong jet stream winds over the equator, small waves over the tropics, ocean water temperatures are warmest, or the upper level winds are the lightest. There may be more than one answer. We'll have it for you coming up. If you want to check the radar sequence, since about 1 this afternoon, you can see the area of showers and thunderstorms which blossomed pretty much right over the Twin Cities. Some reports of very heavy rain and small hail as those thunderstorms came through, and we're going to have to zoom in right now and show you what's been happening over the past couple of hours. Some big storms over the southern and eastern suburbs and parts of western Wisconsin, even some reports of small hail. Live Doppler picking up the heaviest activity right now from Taylor's Falls to Balsam Lake. One big storm bearing down on Ellsworth. One shower just west of the backyard that has me concerned, and a couple of showers out around Buffalo. Temperatures as of late afternoon are in the 70s, even some 60s across Minnesota, but it does warm up nicely to our west 80s. And this is the air mass we will be enjoying tomorrow. Here is the 11 outlook for tonight. It does call for an isolated shower possible this evening. Otherwise, gradual clearing overnight. Looks like a nice one. A low by morning of 59 to 64. A beautiful stretch of weather is on the way. More live from the Backyard Barbecue, the MD Barbecue, coming up in just a few minutes.
You got the crowd control taken care of, I hope, Paul.
Except for that one guy.
Okay.
Hey, our stomachs are growling in here. Can you save us a couple?
He's always wanted to be on radar. We'll save you some brats.
Thank you.
See you later.
Still to come, a new drug to help prevent repeat heart attacks.
And a dramatic life and death telephone exchange. Those stories and more when News 11 continues.
Bill and I had a real dilemma. Spend our wedding money on a washer and dryer or spend our first year in a laundromat. Then some friends told us about Remco. At Remco, we can rent for as little as a month or own in just 18 months. They fit in our budget, fit in our apartment too. Listen, if you want to play house at Laundryland, fine. But I've got other things to do.
Call Remco, your rent-to-own store.
Hey, Minnesota, who's making your best Mazda year-end clearance deal? Metro Mazda, $1,000 guaranteed. B2000s, Minnesota's best priced at $5,580 and no money down. 323s and 626s, not stripped. They're fully equipped with no money down. RX-7s, $208 a month. No dealer in St. Paul, Minneapolis, Minnesota will beat Metro's year-end clearance prices. Guaranteed. Metro Mazda St. Paul, your no money down dealer.
Serious trouble. 99.9% of my business is done over the phone.
Effective immediately.
It's got to be cost-effective and it's got to be clear.
U.S. Sprint is the lowest-priced major long-distance company in America.
That's what I need.
Lower than AT&T, lower than MCI.
Well, we're talking about big bucks.
The best overall savings.
Super.
And if you become a Sprint Charter customer during our biggest sale ever, you could save even more. So call now and find out more about U.S. Sprint.
Buy it.
Here's Mary Lou Retton for the Neighborhood Bowling Center.
All right, for fun, you can't beat bowling. Being with your family and friends, and you're a winner no matter what your score is. So come on, America, for the fun of it, go for 10. Bowling, the all-American sport for all Americans.
Mary Lou's right. Bowling is lifetime fun for everyone. And now's a great time to get your friends and family together and join a fall league at your nearby Neighborhood Bowling Center.
Some new drugs may be able to help doctors prevent repeat heart attacks in patients. That, according to a report out today in the New England Journal of Medicine. The new drugs are called calcium blockers. The study indicates they seem to spare some heart attack victims from renewed attacks.
A 911 dispatcher and quick thinking has helped save a child's life in California. 2-year-old Regina Tacovino nearly drowned in the family pool, but her sister remembered to call 911. And here's part of the dramatic exchange between Regina's father and dispatcher Beth Frank.
Okay, is she breathing yet?
No.
Okay, tilt the head back again. You got to get that head.
Keep the head back. She's clenching her fist.
Sir?
Yes.
Is the baby breathing now? I think so. She's clenching her fist and she's blinking her eyes. Okay, tell the police are here. Okay, tell the policeman that the paramedics are already on the way.
Oh, she's crying!
Okay.
Oh, she's crying!
Okay.
Did you hear it?
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Dispatcher Frank says it was the most rewarding experience of her life.
There are 28 911 dispatch offices in the Twin Cities.
News 11's Melissa Young joins us from the one in Golden Valley. Melissa?
That's right, Kirsten. You know, they talk about those kinds of calls. Luckily, they don't happen every day, emergencies like that, but they are prepared to handle them. Now, Scott here, for instance, so he's handling calls for Golden Valley and New Hope. He not only has to handle 911 calls, but he also has to handle police dispatching and everything else. So he's very busy. But around the metro area, they have something called Enhanced 911. This computer screen here, when a 911 call comes in, will actually print out within seconds the name of the caller, the address, and a phone number from where they are calling from. So in case someone is upset, they can still at least dispatch crews to the scene. But the main thing they need to know when you're calling 911 is what the problem is right away. But they also say don't be afraid to call 911 because the system isn't overused. They want people to use it as much as possible. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Melissa Young. And what a tremendous service it can be, too. Coming up next on News 11, more Marigold Ice Cream is being recalled.
And Tom Ryther tells us about a freewheeling sport that never goes out of style. He's up next with sports.
Six kids. Count them. Buying their clothes could put us into bankruptcy. But thank goodness for Burlington Coat Factory. Their selections are unbelievable. Their savings just fantastic. Burlington has everything for my entire gang, from jeans and tops to suits and dresses, in every size, from my youngest to my oldest. Same brands I see in better stores. Okay, kids, what's your favorite place for clothes?
Burlington Coat Factory!
For some years, our friends overseas have been drinking only Pepsi-Cola. But recently, they started drinking Coca-Cola. And now, our friends drink Coke and Pepsi only. But somewhere, there are people who'll go out of their way for the taste of RC Cola. A taste that's unrestrained. Yes, some people go out of their way for the taste of RC. But sometimes, not far enough.
Hot foot back to school at Famous Footwear. Hot shoes, hot at the right price. No. Get them on the hot at Famous Footwear.
Look, Mom, Transformers.
Hot shoes.
Skimmers for me for $21?
Really hot. Leather boat mops, $19. Hot news.
Leather booties only $29?
Hot shot. Get them on the hot at Famous Footwear. Get them on the hot.
Do you remember the 16th century? Maybe not, but the folks at the Renaissance Festival do, and they can't wait to relive it with you. Rediscover and learn about ancient crafts and lost arts. Indulge in the foods fit for a king. Revel in the entertainment, jousting, music, and more. Remember the Renaissance Festival and how much fun you had last time? The Renaissance Festival, weekends on Labor Day, August 16th through September 28th near Shakopee. Rejoice, it's the Renaissance.
From the update desk this afternoon, a flurry of legal activity over the Williams pipeline.
Mary Sucky has that and more from the newsroom. Mary?
Well, John and Kirsten, today suits and countersuits were filed. Mounds View and Ramsey County are suing Williams. They want to keep the pipeline that exploded last month closed. Williams is countersuing Mounds View. The company wants to test the line and then reopen it. Today, Williams agreed to wait until at least the end of next week before moving ahead at the site. The Marigold Ice Cream recall continues this afternoon with a brand found at Dairy Queen stores. Consumers with the hard-packed Queen's Choice are being asked to return the products to Dairy Queen for a refund. Meanwhile, Carolyn Marinan tells us grocery stores are receiving their first deliveries of Marigold since the recall began.
The ice cream was piled high and one of the first things to be unloaded this morning at the Super Value store in Golden Valley. This was the first delivery since the recall, and it was just in time. Since flavors were running out, the supply was drying up, and the shelves were getting bare.
Now, today's shipment wasn't as large as normal, but the staples like vanilla and chocolate were brought in, and that should keep most ice cream lovers happy until the next shipment comes in.
Even if this wasn't the regular order, manager Gary Sigafus was happy to fill up the empty freezers with safe ice cream.
Today is our first spotting stock, bringing in the fresh stock. All these codes have been checked at the warehouse. We are going to check them again to make sure there was no errors. And the process now is to fill up the case. This order we're getting here should have some of everything that we carry. And then tomorrow we'll be coming in with a heavy order to jam the shelves up again. So we'll be back in business.
And getting back to business should make customers happy, who, according to SuperValu, have been very understanding during the inconvenience. Carolyn Mirna, News 11, Golden Valley.
And we will have more on this story at 6 and 10. John and Kirsten, back to you.
Thank you, Mary. The Proud Peacock won the Wednesday night ratings race. 25% of the primetime audience polled had their dials tuned to NBC to watch Highway to Heaven. 21% of the viewers were tuned to ABC to see MacGyver and Hotel, while 16% of the audience watched Charlie Brown on CBS.
Tom Ruther's in for Jeff Passolt this afternoon, and he's got some news about a new sport, a hot new sport.
Oh, Kirsten, it's a sport that I'll watch and not try. And when you see this, you'll know what I'm talking about. Skateboarding is a sport that seems to continually grow in popularity. And as Steve Carroll tells us, these days it's much more than rolling transportation.
Watch out, here I come.
It's the hottest thing on wheels. Skateboarding. Now, while it's okay to stay on the ground, up in the air is where it's at.
Skateboarding is really, really rad. You can play football and baseball, you know, same old thing. Skateboarding, go down hills and ramps. You can go anywhere you'd like to.
Neighbors don't always agree with that idea, especially if the $800 ramp is next door.
Mr. Smith, he always complained that he could hear the noise and he'd come out and yell at us. But then we soundproofed the back, and now he doesn't complain anymore.
Now that they've solved that problem, these teenagers can continue skateboarding in their front yard, doing all the fancy moves like the kick turn, sometimes winning the battle with gravity, other times losing it. Steve Carroll, News 11 Sports.
And you might be interested to know that the money for the $800 ramp was raised by the skateboarders. And, you know, I guess once in a while neighbors would gripe a little bit about something, but as long as they work together, what the heck, you know?
Soundproofing the backboard?
Really, sort of like a mini United Nations.
Okay. I think you'd be great at it.
All right, I'm going out in the parking lot right now and give it a try.
We need more participation.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Today's 11 Country Good Neighbor is a special friend to the homeless. Karen Schobach helps the homeless find places to live through the Housing Resource Program in Minneapolis. She spent many hours making phone calls and tracking down low-cost housing for those in need. So we salute Karen for making Minneapolis and all of 11 countries such a great place to live.
Coming up next, Paul Douglas and the answer to our trivia question.
And today's celebrity birthdays after this update on the World Chess Championships.
How soft? Jump! So soft. Jump! Ooh, very soft. Jump, 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 jump. Bounce, but so soft, clothes you can't wait to jump into. Jump! Feels so good. Jump in! You are the one, so warm and soft around me. Jump, 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 jump. Bounce, but so soft, clothes you can't wait to jump into. Jump!
You know, it just doesn't seem like summer unless I can sink my teeth into a big, juicy, luscious Washington State peach. Washington State peaches are picked tree ripe. And believe me, they're ready just as soon as I can get my hands on them. And that's right now.
Washington peaches are now available at Byerly's.
Hey, Minnesota, who's making your best Mazda year-end clearance deal? Metro Mazda, $1,000 guaranteed. B2000s, Minnesota's best priced at $5,580 and no money down. 323s and 626s, not stripped. They're fully equipped with no money down. RX-7s, $208 a month. No dealer in St. Paul, Minneapolis, Minnesota will beat Metro's year-end clearance prices. Guaranteed. Metro Mazda St. Paul, your no money down dealer.
Carpet King is offering the lowest prices you've probably ever seen anywhere during their $2 million carpet distributor inventory liquidation. That means you can buy carpet at below dealer cost.
Over 50 truckloads of residential and commercial carpet from Cheney distributors jammed into all 10 of Carpet King's big showrooms. And Cheney's local warehouse. A distributor liquidation sale so big it takes the space of all 10 Carpet King stores as well as the Cheney warehouse. Shop and save now.
They've been having to dodge the showers out there with their barbecue. Let's check in again with Paul Douglas.
Well, I'll tell you, everybody is gone out here in the backyard. Everybody is indoors eating. There was a brief, about a 5-minute shower out here in the backyard, and it chased everybody indoors, John and Kirsten. But the sun is trying to peek through. The food is still great. We're out here with our pre-telethon appreciation party for muscular dystrophy. It's an ugly sight, actually. I'm salivating and drooling uncontrollably right now. Because all this food looks so good, but I don't want to do the weather with my mouth full. So I'm looking forward to getting this forecast over with, and I think you're going to like it. Here's what's happening in the backyard right now. Under partly sunny skies, a couple of showers still lurking about. 78 degrees, a west wind at 16 miles an hour. The dew point 64, the humidity 62%, and the pressure 2970 and steady. Upper level winds, you can see a little wrinkle of cold air in the upper atmosphere, which destabilized our sky just enough to produce some widely scattered showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. Last night, 4-inch rains in parts of eastern Iowa. Some serious flooding problems there. This is just a beautiful air mass, which is now gushing into Minnesota. Tomorrow, right through Sunday, we're looking forward to basically dry weather, lots of sunshine, low humidities, and seasonable temperatures for this time of year. 94 now in Dallas, 83 Atlanta. Very welcome rains fell over the southeast today. 93 degrees at Tahoe last hour. Tomorrow the weather map will show bright, golden sunshine all across the upper Midwest. This week, cool front could spawn a shower late in the day Saturday, mainly over northern Minnesota. But if you have stuff planned for the weekend outdoors, I think you're going to be in real good shape. Here's the 11 outlook for tonight. It calls for an isolated shower this evening, otherwise clearing out. A low by morning of 59 to 64 degrees. And then for tomorrow, mostly sunny and beautiful. Couldn't ask for a nicer Friday. See if you can take a 2-hour lunch tomorrow, 82 to 87. We're looking forward to a high temperature of about 84 or 85 on Saturday, sunshine most of the day. A little cooler on Sunday, partly cloudy skies, and a high temperature of about, I hope they're not shooting at us, a high temperature of about 78 degrees on Sunday. So, John, Kirsten, what do you think? Why are hurricanes most likely in August and September?
I think I'm going to go for C. Do you want to? It's more than one, right?
Could be, Kirsten. You
Kirsten
never can tell.
Feels very positive about
C.
and I really just don't have any idea.
C and A.
Sounds good.
C and D, as it turns out. When ocean water temperatures get above 86 and when the winds in the upper atmosphere are very light, clumps of thunderstorms can mutate into tropical storms and even hurricanes. And we are now heading into prime time for hurricanes. All quiet at this hour in the tropics. That is not the case out here in the backyard. We're having a mouth-stuffing party out here over the next couple of hours. And there's still plenty of food left out here, John and Kirsten.
Glad to hear it. We'll be right
I don't know, Paul, if you noticed, but our news director was behind you there. I think he was keeping a close watch on how things are going. So.
Okay, great. I know. Yes, I did. In fact, let me salute. Have a great day, sir. See you later.
Finally this afternoon, big birthday greetings to some famous names in showbiz. The star of Kate and Ally, actress Susan St. James, is turning 40. Country singer Connie Smith is celebrating her 45th. And rock singer David Crosby, who just got out of jail, is now 45 years old.
Well, David Crosby is known for his work with Crosby, Stills, and Nash in their role at Woodstock.
That's right. So we'll close out this edition of News 11 at 5 with a little